Ray, May, Rattling, and Racer. Oh, that's May May. Okay, I can't read. Alright, we got some good ones here. I like them. I approve. And Hornlitz is starting, so it looks like everybody's going to be starting now, so tutorial time. The thing that this game is most known for, it's dashing. We don't have in the prologue, so we just kind of have to jump a lot, because that's the fastest thing we can do. And Hornlitz makes it through deathless in the prologue, same with BirdoPrey and Sylverfyst and Mr. Ike. No prologue deaths. That's good. Prologue is kind of scary because if you're not careful with your jumps, you can just plummet into a pit. And now I'm going to be headed on to Forsaken City, which is a very fast stage. So basically any movement technique you can think of, except for like maybe one or two, is going to be showcased here. It's a very short, very open level where a lot of things happen very quickly, so you're going to see a lot of movement techniques from stuff like normal hypers that are useful in a lot of the run, to stuff like wall bounces and then extendeds and reverse extendeds as well. And even less common techniques like dash jumps you're going to see. So it's a very unique level in that it probably is one of the most technical, while still being one of the easier levels. But with that, we're seeing each racer going fairly well. Hornlitz, of course, flying through the level no problem, same with BirdoPrey. Mr. Ike and Sylverfyst also doing really well. Everybody's really having a few problems going as fast as possible, but they're making it work. And Hornlitz about to enter this, and there's neutral jumps to end off the level too, so there's everything, with Hornlitz finishing and Birdo really close behind. And about to enter Act 2, or Chapter 2 rather. So, Hornlitz's going to be heading down here. I have a friend now. Everybody say hello to Duke Firebird.
Hey, Lori. Hey, Chad. How's everyone doing?
We're doing pretty good so far, with Sylverfyst being the last to finish up. Sylverfyst, my bad. We've seen 4 really good Forsaken Cities, and now we have Dream Blocks on Hornlitz's side, so things are moving pretty smoothly.
Oh, yes. One of the good mechanics of this game. Love the Dream Blocks.
I kind of upset with the Dream Blocks because I was going through the Golden Strawberry in 2B recently. I did end up getting it, but I was kind of annoyed that I couldn't wall bounce out of the Dream Blocks. I really wanted to do that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They are fun mechanics, I agree. You basically just dash in whatever direction. You keep your dash in whatever direction you enter them in until you exit them, and then you can do stuff like jump out of them or even hyper dash out of them. They're pretty neat, I agree. With all 4 of our racers having them now, some of our racers even in the battle line chase now. So they got to be careful, not dilly-dally.
Yep, Battle Line, one of the, it's basically your inner, conflict, effectively.
Storyline.
She will always follow behind you. Well, they skipped it. It's not our fault.
Yeah.
But they do, but Battle Line follows behind your exact movements, but it follows at about a 3-second difference. So, as long as you can stay outpaced, you'll always outrun her.
Yeah, and you always want to move as quickly as you can because it's a speed run. I don't know if you picked up on that part, but yeah. So, and sometimes it's not a problem, but you're going to see in the last couple of screens, like where Mr. Ike and Birdo are, there's going to be parts of the level where it kind of wants you to retrace your steps in order to do some stuff, like some backtracking to collect some keys. So you do have to start being really careful there.
Kind of like right there with what Mr. Ike had to do. He missed the key, so he had to wait, and so make sure the path was clear.
Okay, hold up. Give me a second. There we go. Sorry about that. I fixed that. But now we're on to Chapter 3. With Hornlitz, at least. We have the others still working through Chapter 2, with Birdo also done. But we're starting to see Chapter 3 from some of our racers now, which is pretty good. Pretty good progress from all four here.
The Celestial Resort. So for the game not having RNG, it makes up for it by having cycle-based, and this is the cycle-based level.
Yeah. Dust bunnies have cycles that they move on when you either enter the room, and they also change when you die and respawn in the room. So that can cause a lot of problems if you don't practice what a room is like if you die in it. Fortunately, or not fortunately, but hopefully you won't die in it, but if it comes to that, you have to be prepared.
Yep.
And it looks like with Sylverfyst finishing up Old Site, everybody's going to be there now.
Yep, for the example you were giving about the death cycle and entrance cycle, Hornlitz took a couple deaths in that one room, but he just decided to exit the room so he can reset the cycle to what he's used to.
Yeah, that's a really good option in some rooms. I only do that in rooms that I think are so easy, I don't think it's worth learning any backups. But then I mess them up anyways, because, you know, this game.
So Hornlitz coming up to what is called the Big Best Room.
Huge mess.
Huge mess, thank you.
I mean, there are synonyms, it's fine.
Sure, fair enough.
We could call it the gigantic mess if we wanted.
Yes.
Either way, it is whatever synonym you want to use for big, it also fits that description and how much of a challenge it can be. Because as it goes on, it gradually gets harder because every time you can lean up a component of the mess, it disappears from the other rooms, which usually causes some stuff like more pits to be open or less shortcuts to be available.
Yep. And on Hornlitz's side, we missed it, but he did a spike jump.
Yep.
One of the first skips you can get in this chapter.
Yeah, I mean, Birdo's coming up on it, so if you didn't see it on Hornlitz's side, there it is.
There we go.
Second try. That one is actually really tricky.
Yeah, so for the key thing is, it's when you go into the spikes, it will kill you. However, because the spikes are coated, you're jumping away from the spike, you're not going to actually hit it. So,
Yeah.
in case you were wondering why they were being able to basically touch the spike without doing getting killed.
And then wall jumping off of a corner that you're moving towards is just a game mechanic. It doesn't matter if spikes are there or not. There's like a really specific window you can wall jump off there, even if there weren't spikes. Just call it spike jump because it makes it sound cooler. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like everybody's in the huge mess right now, even though Hornlitz is just about to get out of it, so...
So you'll notice all the racers are going to be taking the same exact path. We do that because Oshiro will appear in specific locations upon each section of the huge match being completed, and we just choose the ones that will make sure he is right at the exit.
Yeah. I mean, after the first section, he's kind of in a mean position, but after the second one, we literally just do a dash to the right, and he's right there. So, it works out in that sense. Yeah, like you can see Sylverfyst exiting the box room and immediately being able to go to Oshiro. And Hornlitz about to get to my favorite screen of the whole game.
Oh,
It's not actually my favorite screen.
there we go.
Second try. I've heard the death cycle in that screen is actually a lot easier than the normal cycle, but I don't know, I mess it up anyways. It's a tricky one for sure. You have to get like a specific amount of height with your hyper to make it from platform to platform and be low enough to not hit the dust bunny.
Yeah, you gotta be just high enough, but you can't be too high. So it's like
Yeah. But then after that, you can get to Oshiro, which kind of a boss fight type thing.
Yep.
Charges at you horizontally across the screen by tracking your vertical position.
Yep. And again, this is not RNG. It's actually it's all cycles. He will take the same amount of time every time, and he will just follow your movement.
Yeah.
So if you literally do the room the same way every single time,
because that's possible.
It'll always happen.
Yeah. So it looks like almost everybody's out of the huge mess here. The last person who's still in there is Sylverfyst, who is on the last screen before getting the key. And there's the switch just as Hornlitz finishes the whole chapter. It looks like BirdoPrey and Mr. Ike is actually a fairly close race on the top, with they're both in the Ashiro section. Could especially come closer if Birdo dies like that, because that last screen is a gargantuan beast that devours runs with no mercy. It is very long and has no checkpoints throughout the whole thing.
Yep. Every screen itself is a checkpoint. The only time that will not occur is in Reflection and the Summit.
There's like one screen in Golden Ridge that has checkpoints in it, which is really weird because it's not only not even like the longest screen in the level, it's like not even that close to the longest screen in the level, and it's also like one of the easiest screens in the level. It's so confusing why it's there. But yeah, checkpoints are in almost every occasion just where you enter the screen, and that is true for every screen. So Birdo and Mr. Ike, again, still very close. Birdo being at the beginning of Golden Ridge, while Mr. Ike is nearing the end of, bad death in the last Ashiro room, but nearing the end of Resort. Hornlitz is just flying through Ridge, however, and Sylverfyst is close to Ashiro, has to get through these last couple screens before Ashiro, but making good progress.
So as you can, as many of you have guessed, this is Golden Ridge, and its main mechanic is bubbles and wind.
And hating you. It's also really good at hating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's a very mean level with a lot of mechanics that it stacks up at the same time, that are all like kind of not very good for movement. But we find a way to still get through it as quickly as we can.
Alright, auto-scroller skip from Birdo there.
Very nicely done. The one that Hornlitz is in, you can't actually... I think someone skipped the block before, but like no one would ever do it in a run with the current strat for it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, unless you're Taskbot, that's about it.
Yeah. Which I don't think Hornlitz is. Just thinking about it. And while RT Walsh is blowing the minds of chat involving the brightness in the last screen of Ashiro that Mr. Ike just now finishes up, we have the cliff face for Hornlitz. So he's basically in that final stretch of 4 of Golden Ridge where the wind gets super strong, just like your favorite product, Flex Tape, and you can barely move without having to do some sort of crazy dash.
Yep. And so fun thing about the wind mechanic is because of the way the dash mechanic works, the dash is going to override the wind.
Yeah. The dash really overrides a lot of things. Sylverfyst finishing up Chapter 3, and Hornlitz entering the last screen of the level, where the harsh wind is actually working with you. I mean, kinda. The game is trying to push you into spikes, but it's pushing you to the right, so that's a direction you like to go in 2D platformers. Either way, Hornlitz now done with the chapter. Birdo, most likely going to be the next one to be done with the chapter. I need to use that strat sometime.
And now for everyone's favorite level to do casually, Mirror Temple.
This is my favorite level to do cash.
This thing is a maze. So
Yeah, and it's fun in a speedrun because we get to do cool stuff like this, where we disregard the intended mechanic and don't ride the red bubble into this section. It's fun. Birdo is also going to be heading there. Birdo's going to be having lots of fun.
Yep. So as we've said, every level is introducing new mechanics. In the Mirror Temple, it introduces the red bubbles, which, like the blue bubbles, will propel you, but the red ones will propel you until you hit something or dash out of it.
Like that.
Yep.
Yeah, and then also the dash blocks, which whenever you dash, they'll move along a set track, and to move them back, you have to just not dash for a period of time while they slowly roll back.
Yep.
We can often use them to get a lot of momentum, because if you're standing on something that moves when you dash and combine the momentum of the moving block, you just go.
Yep. Somewhat real-world physics for a little bit.
Wow, it's almost like this video game is 100% non-fiction.
So, when are we going to Canada to go climb Mount Celeste?
As a community.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that with the hotel, obviously. Alright, so on Hornlitz's side, he's activated the Seekers. The Seekers are a interesting enemy in which they are going to try to chase you, but they can be very useful. They can hit switches, they can destroy the red blocks that are in the way. The little starfield blocks that you'll be seeing, they cannot go through. In fact, Birdo is going through the section where you get to learn how the Seekers actually control and what they can do.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Hornlitz is just abusing them to hit keys for him and all the good stuff that you do with Seekers.
Mm-hmm.
And jump on ahead.
Yep. One trick you usually don't see in the top-level speedruns is that you can actually use their little explosion radius to give you a massive speed boost.
Yeah. I like to use that sometimes. I used to try and do a strat where I got rid of the Seeker by having it use its explosion to boost me in the air, and then while I was in the air, I would land on top of it again. Nice. But that's the backup. Either way, something that's definitely not a backup and a skip that is very important is Search Skip coming up for Hornlitz. That saves, like, a lot of time. He just did that.
Yeah, it's like 3 minutes, I think.
I don't know. I hear a lot of different numbers. But you're basically supposed to get these 2 keys to unlock these 2 doors, because if you don't unlock both the doors, then these red bubbles, there would be a red bubble that would get hit by the doors. But once you unlock both the doors, you can use the red bubble to not hit the doors, but instead get across the spikes that we just do a reverse extended over. And Birdo's about to head up on the skip, while Mr. Ike's about to head up on the beginning of Chapter 5.
Yep. And Hornlitz is at Crystal Theo.
Oh, good.
Crystal Theo, basically, you cannot run while you're carrying him, but you can dash into the crystal, grab the crystal, and conserve the momentum of the dash.
You knew whatever the heck Hornlitz just did.
Yep.
And I feel like that's a lot of things in this game. So it looks like Birdo's past Search Skip, and it looks like Sylverfyst is actually on the second to last screen of Chapter 4. Having a little bit of trouble, but it is a very difficult screen, so it is understandable.
Ooh. Hornlitz almost got the good speed when he dropped Theo.
Yeah.
And Hornlitz actually getting a kill on a Seeker. Alright.
That is the greatest thing in the world. If there's a dash block that hits a wall, or like a floor or something, and a seeker is in its path and you dash, it can actually straight up get crushed and it dies. I've never been in the room long enough to see if it comes back.
You know, I
hope
haven't
not.
either.
I don't know, maybe if you sit there for 12 hours.
Maybe.
Build up speed. Hornlitz is done with Mirror Temple. Moving on to Reflection. Which, did you know it's impossible to outrun your own reflection? I like how that's a really creepy hint, but it's actually, like, completely true. You can't do that. But you have feathers now, which let you move in full 360-degree range of motion, which is good because it lets you turn without having to lose as much upward movement speed. And when you want to move upward, that's good. It's fast. If you're using a keyboard or a D-pad, though, you have to do 8-directional stuff, which can waste a bit of time. Not too much, though. It's not important.
Mm-hmm.
Our Birdo is done with Mirror Temple. So going to be moving on to Reflection as well.
Yeah, Birdo is there. Ike is getting into the Seeker section, and Sylverfyst is attempting to get near the end of the big room. There we go.
There you go, yeah. And still in like this first portion of the level. Oh, once. There we go. Birdo, going for Lake Skip. Nope. Gonna go for it again. I've seen this new ledge grab setup, but I've never seen anyone actually get it with that setup. But I've heard of it. I've heard it works, so must work.
Yep.
Mr. Ike soon to be approaching Search Skip. Meanwhile, the other two working on just getting through as fast as possible. The other three, my bad.
Yep. So here we are in Reflection. So the basic mechanic, the basic storyline behind this with the skip is you've basically been thrown down the entire mountain. That's why
by your own hair.
Yep.
It's not actually your own hair. It's actually your evil. Your. I'm not
Pragmatic.
gonna say that. I wasn't trying to be technical. I was trying to joke, but I realized, hey, I'm not funny. Yeah, but basically battling. If you remember battling, stuff happened. You're basically at the bottom of everything. And so you have to... I don't remember what you're really doing in this first part, but Hornlitz is soon going to find out that, hey, we should... hey, they're probably scared. That's probably what's happening, so let's go unscare them. And there's the hair. So now you have to kind of chase the hair through all these screens. Who designs a mountain like this?
I wish I could answer that, because I have no idea.
I need to rethink that question.
Hornlitz using the dev-intended skips in that run room.
Yep. There are little holes in the spikes that you can get through.
Yep,
Speed stuff up a little bit, but skip some checkpoints that are embedded in the middle of the room.
Mm-hmm. That is one of the rooms with the checkpoint mechanics. Let's see, does Hornlitz get it? Oh,
That's really funny.
that used to be a soft block.
I've never seen anyone do that. I've never gone that fast in that room, but you're in the battle and fight now, which is basically the opposite of Chapter 2, where instead of not wanting to get poked, you desperately want to poke.
Yep. There was a theory that when I was on comms last night with Zelnus, he gave me this theory, and I actually kind of like the idea behind it. You're trying to get in close to Battlein to, like, basically give her a hug and comfort her, and she's just pushing you back.
I like to think that, Madeline just smells really bad after moving so quickly for the past 5 chapters. And she's just trying to, like, throw deodorant sticks at you every time. And that's why you're getting knocked back, until eventually she's just like, okay, your deodorant did enough.
Okay.
That's my theory. Point is, it's kind of tricky because you have a lot of crazy stuff to do, especially because hitting battling will actually give you your dash back. So the game kind of abuses that to do some crazy stuff on some screens. And that skip. That skip is also a thing the game makes you do. But since the game gives you your dash back, what you see a lot of them doing, a lot of times what's happening is, as soon as possible, when they can, they're dashing to get back on the ground so that they can do some sort of hyper or something like that to move it quicker to get to Battlein next. Because she fires her attacks on the magical C word, cycles. And Hornlitz is on this kind of weird remix portion where, guess what else moves on cycles? The Earth does. She starts moving the blocks back and forth, and you have to kind of work around that. Fortunately, since this is not a game with luck really, and everything moves on the same cycle, we learn how to work around the fact that the blocks are moving and use them to our advantage to move quicker. Headed into the last screen of the fight for Hornlitz. Meanwhile, Birdo's doing a decent job getting through the fight as quickly as possible. We have Mr. Ike going on the split pads right now, which are about, I'd say, the second quarter of the level. That sounds about right. And Sylverfyst on the last few screens of the 5th chapter. Well, Hornlitz now has 2 dashes, actually.
Yep, he has leveled up.
Mm-hmm.
Madeline and Battlein have made amends.
Now they can beat Battlein. Or is it Madeline? Who knows? Either way, with 2 dashes, I feel like that sentence is self-explanatory. You can dash twice in midair now, which allows the game to go crazy with bottomless pits and excessive amounts of spikes.
Yep.
And you're gonna see that in the summit.
Yep. So the summit is basically game in review. You actually start in level 6, the reflection area, and then you're going to go back through all the different sections, old site, city, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Albeit with a lot less floor.
Yes. So, like, after Chapter 6, everything is kind of tied up, all the loose ends are tied up, but you realize after all the loose ends are tied up that, hey, your original goal of reaching the summit of the mountain hasn't happened yet. So you go on one big, long montage fest of going back up the mountain to make it happen. With Mr. Ike dying on that dev-intended skip that you mentioned earlier. Again, it's very tricky. 2 of them have lineups to get them quickly, but one of them, the last one, is just kind of rude. And Birdo being finished with Chapter 6, heading into the summit now. See how that goes for him as Hornlitz is blasting through it, and Sylverfyst is here very early on in Chapter 6. And Mr. Ike entering this screen, which is the screen that leads into the Battlein boost.
Clocked his head, unfortunately. So as we can see, Hornlitz is now in Chapter 2, which has the Dream Block sequences. This is going to put all your skills to the test.
Yeah. And I can actually say something about Summit. I actually feel like Summit takes more kind of to the B sides of each chapter you're revisiting instead of the A sides that you play in the any % run. Like with the way they laid out and stuff. For those who don't know, there's a hidden B-side cassette tape. There's a hidden cassette tape in each level which unlocks the B-side, which is an alternate level version of a level which is kind of meant to be built for... I feel like they're kind of built the same way that these sections of the summit are built.
Yeah, very difficult and sometimes unforgiving, really, casually.
Kind of unforgiving, kind of these, like... I don't know, I feel like there's just kind of a way the levels are designed differently between the A and B sides, and I think that 7A is kind of built like that. And if that doesn't paint you a picture of how difficult the Chapter 7 B side is,
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're not doing that in this run. This run is just get to the summit. That's 1A through 7A. We don't need no B sides. With Birdo entering 1,000. Hornlitz struggling a little bit here on this room, which is well known as the Ultra room, because you're going to see a lot of Ultra dashes here, where, yeah, they go pretty crazy.
Yep. Mr. Ike on his battle line fight, phase 2, and Sylverfyst coming up to phase 1 soon. Oh. Sylverfyst unfortunately got hit by a bumper, which broke the feather.
Yeah, bumpers do that. They're very mean. Not very kind. So are snowballs. Snowballs are also mean and not very kind.
Mm-hmm.
As Hornlitz is experiencing.
Yep. Made this joke with Tej when we were doing commentary. I was like, have we ever figured out who's throwing all the snowballs? He said it was him.
No. The Snowball Master, TGH. Oh. Death there from attempting auto-scroller skip on Hornlitz's side. It is a very tough section. I didn't even realize how close to the end of battling Mr. Ike was. That's the last screen up there.
Yep. And got it.
Very nice. Just as Sylverfyst is about to enter the fight, a retry there on that cutscene. And waiting a little bit for the block, but still getting a modest boost into the fight.
Alright, Mr. Ike gonna be starting Summit at about a 2950, it looks like.
That's better than my PB. I did not look at any of the PBs before this race, so I'm not sure. I was not sure what to expect. I didn't know Hornlitz.
Give me 1 second, I will go ahead and look it up.
Yeah, I did know Hornlitz is, I think, fighting for the top 10 right now, so I expected a lot of crazy stuff from Hornlitz, but the other three I was not too sure what to expect. I mean, I guess also Birdo, I kind of knew what to expect because I think I know.
Hornlitz is currently sitting at a 3316.
Yeah, that's what I expected. Something like that, a low 33.
Birdo sitting at a 3615.
That's also a very nice time, especially when he gets the skip, the auto-scroller skip.
Mr. Ike sitting at a 4732.
Oh, he's on great pace to destroy
He's on
a 47.
He's on a pace. See if he can get it.
He's on pace to beat my PB, and my PB is a low 41. Like,
and
that's a really good
is
pace.
and Sylverfyst is sitting at a 4744. So actually, Mr. Ike and Sylverfyst are actually 178th and 179th currently.
Wow, that's crazy. And Sylverfyst is doing pretty good as well. I think we missed if Hornlitz went for door skip because we were talking about PBs.
He probably did.
Probably. I would expect him to. But it's now on 3,000. So after all is said and done and you get through all these kind of recaps, 3,000 is kind of its own unique summit level. It's like the summit, where you have to count. You have a lot of large screens with these checkpoint flags that start counting down. That count down starting from 30, and once you reach the end of the countdown, it means you're going to be at the summit and the game's going to be over. It also introduces these updrafts and downdrafts, which are winds that move vertically instead of horizontally, so they change your gravity.
Yep. Hornlitz in the section we refer to as downdraft. But then he's going to be going into updraft, and the difference between the two literally makes it feel like you're flying in updraft. And Malachris, thank you for those bits. We appreciate that. And Birdo starting his ascent. Hornlitz coming up. I believe this is flag number 15?
Hornlitz is about to hit flag number 11. That one is 11.
That's 11. Okay, that was 12. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of hard. The bit rate's kind of very good at this game at this point, as we all know.
Yeah, especially with all the wind going on. Can get kind of crazy. It looks like Sylverfyst is done with battling. Very nicely done. And
Nice.
Mr. Reich is going to be heading into the last screen of 1500.
Yep, all of these rotors have destroyed my PB. So
I don't know what your PB is, so I can't say.
exiting reflection, I basically have a 48-48.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm
I think,
still learning.
yeah, my PB is a 41-17, and so 3 of these players are literally on pace to beat that right now, which is kind of crazy because I feel like no, I don't. I don't feel like my PB is that good. I have a ton of time saved. But I don't feel like it's that bad. I don't know. This game's crazy. Sylverfyst now entering Summit with Hornlitz, messing up right before flag 2.
Oof.
And it looks like Hornlitz is on flag 1 now, so just need to go up here. And that is a finish for Hornlitz.
That is a finish, and he will win his match. GG for Hornlitz, 34-52.
That's a very good time. Sub 35 in a tournament is a really good thing to see.
Alright. Birdo's coming up near the end of his climb. Unfortunately, it looks like he's not going to beat his personal record, but still a very good time with what he's pulling right
And hello to Hornlitz.
GG, Hornlitz.
Can you? There we go.
There we go.
Okay, it took me a bit to actually get the mic turned
Hello
on.
there.
Hello. Okay.
Well, GG.
Thank you. That was unfortunately not the best run I've ever pulled off, but I'm still okay with how I did. Still got a 34, which is nice.
34 is very nice.
Yes.
Yeah, given that at the start of the tournament, PB was a 36. The fact that I'm consistently, like, all 3 of my races have been 34s now, so...
Oh, congrats.
That's crazy. And we have Birdo also finished with a 36-29.
And he wins his race.
Now we have, so for the last 2, we have Mr. Reich working through the last screens of 2,500, and we have Sylverfyst working very cleanly through 1,000. First try door skip for Mr. Reich.
Swag.
Yeah, very nice.
Mr. Ike, definitely on pace.
Hornlitz, do you know if Speedo.com is up to date for Mr. Reich or not?
I'm not actually sure.
Okay. Because it says he has a 47, but he's entering, maybe Birdo, you're here now.
Hey guys.
Do you know if, well, first off, congratulations on the victory, but
Thanks.
second off, do you know if Speedo.com is up to date for Mr. Reich? Do you know what their PB is?
He actually just told me his new unsubmitted PB before the race. Let me just check in chat.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's a 38 something, 38.53.
Oh.
Okay.
Well,
38, okay.
He's not going to break that one, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
still, compared to when his old one was 17 days ago, and he's hitting 38, 39.
I'm jealous.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's very good. Also, still gonna be finishing with like maybe a mid to low 40.
Not bad.
That's a very good time.
So you guys happy with the way you guys ended up getting your runs in, or was there any section that you thought just did not go well for you?
Well, I mean, if I were to talk about all the sections that I didn't think went well, we'd be here for a while. But
I
I can talk about the sections that I thought did go well. I was actually pretty
because that's a
impressed
considerably smaller list than Celeste speedrun.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, I was actually pretty pleased with how my battle and fight went in Chapter 6. Overall, that was pretty good. I think I might have died a few times, but overall, it was pretty clean.
Same here, actually.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Chapter 1 for me went mostly pretty smoothly. I did die once, I think, but overall, I still ended with a 106, which is pretty good.
I had a really miserable Chapter 2 and Chapter 7. Just missing that PB by 15 seconds. Feels bad, man.
Dang.
Oh, yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, do any of you remember what my summit time was? I didn't see it.
No. I do not remember the summit specific time.
Okay.
Yeah, I do not recall seeing it.
Let me just quick check. I'll go back to the screen there. After.
It seems like whenever I'm close to a PB, my hands tense up and I start misdashing everywhere.
It happens.
Yeah, I had a few missed dashes at the end of Chapter 7 as well. Bit of an unfortunate one that I had on Flag 3, especially. That one really hurt.
Yeah, same. Dashing up left at the very end when you're trying to get through those spikes.
I actually dashed through the spikes, but then I dashed up instead of up right, or up
Oh
left.
no.
Alright, Mr. Reich. Coming up on the final 3 here. And flag 1, going to be finishing with a low 41, it looks like, which is very nice.
Yeah, that is a very good time.
I think my next PB has got to be coming soon. Because in practice I got within 6 seconds of it. And now 15 seconds, so... just gotta have all the pieces come together. And GG to Mistrike.
Definitely good job.
And I have to say something quickly. So this is about a match that's about to be coming up on this channel after this race. Due to kind of anti-cheating measures for Link to the Past randomizer races, they have to do this delay thing where they stream delay 15 minutes to prevent screen watching and stuff like that. So if they've already started a race, we can't really start it. And we have about 3 minutes until a race starts on this channel, and it is unfortunately not enough time to allow Sylverfyst to finish on stream. So...
yeah, we do apologize, but unfortunately with those measures, the racers are already playing.
yeah.
So we have no way to stop them.
We have no way to stop it. So, on top of my usual recommendation to follow the runners and commentators, I definitely tell you to give your support to Sylverfyst on finishing up their run, because I believe they're actually fairly close to PB right now.
Let me check that real fast. Sylverfyst PB 47. He'd have to have a near perfect climb.
Okay. Well,
But he could do it.
gonna be really close, so support that. We have to head out now. I'm being yelled at by my peers.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. We're going to immediately go into Legend of Zelda Link to the Past randomizer, Andy versus Gloin. With that, I'll catch you guys later. I've been Duke.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
see ya.